Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Revival of America podcast. This is Jenny. I'm the owner and the host of the Revival of America. Today we have Field Mcconnell in the house, everybody. So please, if you have a question for Field, feel free to either raise your hand and I will unmute your mic and you can ask Field your question at some point in this podcast. Or if you can't speak, go ahead and write your question underneath the picture of Field and his wife on the cover of Field of Honor, his book there on the wall. Also, too, everybody, please be careful who you listen to, who you follow, what you're putting into your mind. It's a crazy world out there, guys. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of great things happening. So stay out of the noise. Try to focus on the positive because there's more positive than there is negative, but there is still that noise, still that people just staying stuck in talking on the surface level stuff. So everybody, just please be careful. Also, too, everybody, keep our president Donald J. Trump in your prayers, as well as his family. I do believe that there's a lot of evil going on in this world, and we know probably a lot of people aren't happy with him, especially after an epic couple days he had over there in Davos last week. So just keep him in your prayers, everybody. And also, too, if you just don't know who to listen to or to follow, definitely follow Donald Trump over there on True Social. He is really saying a lot, telling us always without directly telling us. And then, of course, watch his movements, guys. He is a guy of confidence. He doesn't seem like he's fearful of a lot. Just kind of like he's got everything under control, right? Although we know we're in war and you got to seem neutral and kind of that kind of thing. But just keep him in your prayers, everybody, and definitely follow him if you are that person. I know many of you have reached out to me. You're just really confused on who to trust and who to follow, and I get it. I really get it because a lot of some of the people that you might have been following for a while, you're seeing kind of go to the other side. So just be careful, everybody. Also, to everybody, we are being listened to in over 100 countries, so we are making a lot of great positive noise. I'm being told we're giving a lot of good information, and my guests are on point, so that's a good thing, everybody. They're consistent. They don't flip flop in what they say, and they're really giving you a lot of great information. And that's another thing to look for when you're wondering who to follow or pay attention to is how they speak and if the consistency of their message is the same. So messaging is key, everybody, and it's hard to trust somebody when they're going over to the next best thing. So again, we're making some noise over here, some very, very positive noise. The podcast hosts, so go follow the podcast hosts or the social medias, and they are iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google, Breaker, PocketCast, Podbean, Riverside, Amazon Music. Social medias are Jenny Jeread Facebook, at Jenny_Jeread X, at JJeread Rumble, at JJeread True Social, at JJeread Instagram, The Revival of America right here on Telegram, and then, of course, over on YouTube, The Revival of America. Also, check out the website, everybody, therevivalofamerica.com. We've got a page for Field in his books over there. We got a page for Rick Anson with Brain IQ Health, John Baxter, Anti-Aging Medbed, and then, of course, the children. And we're going to be bringing that website put to life here. I have brought somebody on board, and I will be putting out the press release here later today or tomorrow. Some of you may know her. She's over there on X with me often, either co-hosting for me or we're in spaces, hosting or co-hosting, talking to people, kind of like we do over here on Telegram. Her name's Carmen. She does the live roundtable over on X. So she is going to be coming on and helping me assist, produce. A lot of great stuff coming with the podcast, guys. So when you guys see her, hear her, be sure to give her a welcome. But that press release will be coming out later today or tomorrow. She's got a great background, so I'm really pleased to have brought her on board. Also, to everybody, if you have a story, the website is therevivalofamerica.com, and if you have a story or a journey to tell, submit your stories to TROA submissions at yahoo.com, and myself or Carmen will reach out to you. We're going to vet these stories, guys, because unfortunately we do get those shysters that just want to get a voice on a podcast and their stories just aren't legit. So I'm not doing that. But if we believe it's legitimate, we will reach out to you via email. We'll get your voices and your stories heard and on the show. And bear with me, everybody. As you know, I've got a day gig, so it's been a little bit challenging for me to get back to some of you in a timely fashion with these submissions, just because I have my day gig. That's priority, obviously. So with Carmen's help, we should be able to do a little bit better job in getting those emails answered in a more timely fashion. So I do apologize, but again, this is secondary to my day gig because again, that pays the bills, everybody, and those bills have to be paid, right? Also, too, if you want to email me myself, you have a question or concern, please email me at therevivalofamerica@yahoo.com. And or if you're trying to get in touch with John Baxter and do the free scan that he is offering with your hair and your nails, please, again, I'm centralizing everything to my email, everybody, because I get a lot of DMs everywhere, all over my whether it be social medias or the podcast host, I'm getting messages everywhere. So please email me at my email, therevivalofamerica@yahoo.com. That's kind of where I sit and answer emails for you guys. So with that, everybody, John Baxter will be on later today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have Rick Anson on tomorrow at 5:30 Mountain Standard Time from Brain IQ Health. And then Wednesday, everybody, we're going to have Dallas from PPN, Everything RV News. We will then cruise on over to my X Space, and we will have Jason from 3D Response Systems. And he has a great system that is going to help with these schools and these school shootings. So if you guys want to listen to his story and what he is putting out there to a lot of these schools are using his systems to help protect our children and train these teachers and stuff in case something like that happens. So he's got a great story, and he's got a great system that he's uh, putting in people's schools. So this is awesome. It's great news. And then let's see, Silk is back, guys. She'll be back on with me on Wednesday over on my X page at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm super excited to have her back. She took a bit of a hiatus for the holidays, and she's back with us. And then, of course, I'll get the rest of the week's shows out. Well, that'll be it for this week, but then we'll go into next week. So we've got some new guests coming and joining us next week as well. So with that, everybody, Field's in the house, and I want to welcome Field to the chat. How are you, Field?
I'm fine. How are you other than busy, Jenny?
I am doing fantabulous. Never a complaint here. Always look forward to our chats. You sound great. How was your week? And do you want to share some good news with us? A little good news?
Yeah, I will give you a little good news. ALGN. I've got sweatshirts that say ALGN on, I think it's the left sleeve. But I, I don't want to mention the lady's name. I guess I just mentioned her gender. But last week, after I'd fallen down on Friday of the previous week, I was thinking seriously of putting myself into a nursing home. And somebody who you may be familiar with, Jenny, said, absolutely not. You're not going to a nursing home. I'm going to come take care of you 5 days a week. And that sort of blindsided me. I didn't see that coming, but that's here now. And so this person who used to work at a nursing home quit her job to come check on me 5 days a week. And I'm very excited about it. And I wish I had her permission to mention her name, but many of you can figure out who she is. Um, and I feel healthier already just knowing that she's going to be checking on me 5 days a week. And the reason she's not here 7 days a week is she has children at home yet, school age children. And I told her that a condition of employment, because I'm paying her to work here, and she's getting more money than she made at the nursing home. Um, but I told her the only condition I have is that regardless of your employment status, that your kids come first. I think that kids need to come first. And I don't want to be involved with anyone if they're not putting their kids first and I'm helping them. So with that, and I'll when I can mention the person's name that's working for me now full time, I will do so. But I don't have her permission yet. But I think many of you probably can figure out who it is. And I feel healthier already just knowing that she's going to keep her eye on me and keep me out of a nursing home. Over to you, Jenny.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I know we spoke after the show last week, and I'm so thrilled to hear this news, Field, because what better person than to have her help you on a weekly basis. So I'm super excited. I know the audience is very probably feels the same way, excited to hear that, because I did get a lot of messages from audience members letting me know that they were happy to have you come stay at their place, or if you needed any help, but nobody wanted to see you go into a nursing home, myself included, because with a lot of us in the research we do, we know how these nursing homes can be. So I'm so excited for that, and I'm excited for you. And yeah, I agree with her that you I agree with you that you don't need to be in a place like that for sure.
Yes. And thank you very much for rubber stamping, what I've put into place. But I really do feel better already. And I just want to give a shout out to Shauna and her husband, Tim, because they stepped up to the plate and told me that I could come down. They live 8 hours south of Plum City, and they told me I could come stay at their house, but that's not necessary. It's a very kind and genuine offer, but I can stay in my own house, and I like my house, and I like my property. It's 100 acres of Wisconsin deer hunting land, and there's been a lot of deer activity lately, and I just feel at home here. And the older you get, and I'm 76, um, I think it's not morbid. I think it's normal to hope that you die at home because I don't want to go anywhere else to live and be cared for as if I'm a baby that can't take care of myself. Um, to a large degree, I can take care of myself, but there's things I can't do. And this person who stepped forward as a volunteer to care for me, that's a legitimate offer, and she is a caregiver. And I'm just elated to have her on my team because my job, I think, is mostly over. I've done pretty much everything I can do regarding children and treason, and I'm going to do a little bit more uh, because I'm hoping this just came up today, and it came up because of a Canadian gentleman that I talk to routinely, and he's aware that I wrote 350 pages from Field Mcconnell to Donald John Trump during his first administration. And if I can get the original manuscripts of those letters, I intend to publish them in a book with no narrative. In other words, it'll just be the letters so that people can see the history of, well, in this case, Field Mcconnell and Donald John Trump. I funneled a lot of information to him and his White Hats, and they've used a lot of it. And I respect them, and I have reason to believe that they respect me. So this is an exciting time for me, and I'd like to share my excitement with you guys. And when I say you guys, I'm talking about Jenny JERREAD in your chat room. when I had my Abel Danger show, I used to advertise Abel Danger as the possessor of the world's most dangerous chat room, but I don't think that would be true anymore, even if I was active on Abel Danger. I think your chat room, Jenny, I think your chat room is the most well informed, and I like to integrate with them. And I thank you always for allowing me to appear on your platform. Over to you, Jenny.
Oh, of course, Field. Mi casa, su casa. My house is your house. I think I probably said that wrong, so I apologize. But yeah, you're definitely a, blessing here for many. And being that you're talking about 9/11, there is a question here for you from one of the audience members, from Debbie Lou. Says, question for Field: have you been contacted again regarding 9/11? I've tried to tell a few people about what really happened, but no one believes me.
Oh, yeah. Well, one person, whether it's Lulu or whoever you said,
Debbie
they're
Lou.
not going to, yeah, Debbie Lou, sorry. Um, you can't really make much of a dent in this problem working as somebody new with no background. And I'm not being critical, I'm just telling you the way it is. I've been doing this for 24 years. Actually, it's coming up on 25, because on the morning of 9/11, by noon that day, and I'm talking about noon the day of the attack in New York and the Pentagon, I identified the method of the attack and who was behind it. And I'm not shy about pointing the finger at people like George H.W. Bush, John McCain, Hillary Clinton, and my own sister, because I know who did 9/11, and it was not Islamist, it was not Muslims. And at some point, the world is going to embrace this. And I'm not frantic, because I'm too old to get frantic. I might have a heart attack. But I'm convinced the truth will come out. And more, I'm thinking the truth may come out through the Jenny JERREAD chat room, which I think is a very, very capable and well-informed chat room. And so I thank you, Jenny, for providing that chat room and for allowing me to come on here and speak. Um, so I'll say over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Fields. And and part of that question too, real quickly, she wanted to know if you had been contacted regarding 9/11 again. I don't think you have you?
No, I haven't, but I have a reason to believe that at the highest level of the FBI, they consider me the original whistleblower of 9/11, and I can be more specific in that at some point. But I do what I do, and I know what I do, and I'm not trying to showboat. I'm not trying to bring credit to myself. It's equally possible I would bring a bullet to myself, because um, the people that did 9/11, they don't like being exposed. But you know what? Screw them. I'm going to expose them, because Ephesians 5:11 in the Bible tells me, have nothing to do with the evil deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. And when God gives me my marching orders, I start marching, and his truth is marching on. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Fields. All right, everybody. So you know how Field works. That he likes to take some Q&A from the audience, and that's really what my podcast, everybody, is about. Is not just my guest's voice, but also you, the people's voices as well. So if you guys have some questions for Field, please feel free to raise your hand, and I will unmute your mic, or you can write your questions underneath his picture on the wall. So Field, I'm going to ask you until we see some hands raised here. What are you seeing over there in Wisconsin? I know you've been saying it's been really cold with the weather, but we know it's really chaotic over there in Minnesota. And these are very well coordinated protests, riots, whatever you want to call them, agitators. Yeah, some of these videos I'm seeing coming out of there. Some chick went and picked up a Molotov cocktail after it had been thrown, and I think it blew up in her hand, and it blew her arm. I don't know if it I don't know if it blew it off. I don't know. She was running, calling for a medic, but I would like to know: are you seeing any chaos in your area, or what are you hearing?
Well, I'm hearing what you're hearing about Minneapolis, and I find that, partially because of the weak leadership of the governor of Minnesota, whose name is Walls or Balls or something like that. But I don't think it's Balls. Um, but
He
no,
has none.
where I live, well, you know, if there's a funny quote. It said, "Balls," said the queen, "if I had him, I'd be king." Well, I don't think Walls has any. You know, I think he's just a puppet like most politicians. I don't like politicians. Uh, I like real people. You're a real person, Jenny. Um, I try to be a real person. And we're going to win this battle because right now in Plum City, population 600, it's really peaceful and it's a day off. Molly's restaurant isn't even open. And so, fortunately, I have food simmering on my stove right now so I can have lunch when this is over. But, um, and also, as I mentioned earlier, I've got a caregiver that's going to be working at my house 5 days a week and not full time. I mean, it'll be considered full time because I'm paying her $500 a month more than what she made when she was working full time at a nursing home. And I find that a real tragedy. Why should I be able to pay a private individual more than a nursing home? They should be able to pay their employees, but apparently not. So I'll do it. And in return, I really feel much better health-wise now than I did 10 days ago when I slipped on my icy sidewalk and banged my head on the cement and laid on the ground for an hour and a half. But I'm alive and well, and I didn't suffer any long-term damage. And I really enjoy the outpouring of love I get from your chat room. And some of the examples would include Shauna and her husband, Papa, who I think his real name is Tim, but they're going to be coming to my house at my invitation and their suggestion. They wanted to come visit and get to see Plum City, and I think they'll be coming in April. And if they do come in April, there's a guy from Canada who's going to be coming also. His name is Hermano. You might recognize that name. But, and then I'm going to invite some other people too. There's a lady in the Chicago area named Patty, Patty, and I'm going to invite her to that gathering. And Jenny, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. You're always invited to anything at my house. And 107 knows that he and his wife, Jen Mack, are welcome to come to my house and stay anytime, even if they want to try to be anonymous, which is unlikely to be possible. But I, I have a 5-bedroom house on a pleasant piece of land, and it's a great place for a retreat from reality. Somebody's walking up to my front door, and I know who it is. So, uh, in fact, come on in. Come in and sit down. I was just talking about you without mentioning your name. So, um, Jenny, without squealing, do you know who I'm talking about that just walked into my office?
Yes, I do.
Okay, please don't mention her name. She hasn't given me permission to do that. But a lot of people have figured it out. And she's here right now, and she's welcome right now, and she's my caregiver. And by the way, my doctor appointment for tomorrow?
Today,
No,
today, at 2 o'clock.
you're not listening.
Okay, I'm listening now.
Okay, it's moved till Tuesday of next week, which is February 3rd
Okay,
at 1 p.m. I think I wrote that down, didn't I?
probably. Okay,
Yeah. So anyway, my caregiver's here, so I feel better already. And and I just told her about my appointment. The doctor, oh, by the way, as long as we're on the radio, doctor, well, I'm not going to mention his name, but the doctor in question had an emergency come up. So that's why he had to change the appointment, which actually helps me. So anyway, welcome to my radio podcast, and we're just getting ready to get started. And the party that walked into my house is my caregiver, whose name I haven't divulged yet, but she's kind enough to put me ahead of her full-time employment. And the only thing that I'm not ahead of is I'm not ahead of her kids, because she has some young children that need a mom more than I need a mom. And I need a mom, but I've got a mom. She's in my office right now. So go ahead, Jenny.
Thank you, Fields. I think I had a question for you, but until I figure out what it was or a statement, I don't know. Mark, your mic is muted. Go ahead. And anybody, if you have a question for Field, feel free to raise your hand, guys. Go ahead, Mark.
Hi, Field, and hi, Jenny. How y'all doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm so
I'm
thankful
doing
that you
fine,
have.
Mark.
Oh, great. I'm so thankful you have the show. Most people are stuck at home and, excited about something to do. Jenny, I have some tidbits here I'd like to say, and then I do have a question for Field, if that's okay. Only take a minute, just observations. Would
Sure.
that be? Yeah. When Q said to watch the water, between 2021 and 2024, we saw a lot of flooding. But water has a lot of different meanings. And watching the water, well, we're watching ice and we're watching currency. So I thought that was interesting because that's what's going on. Speaking of currency, I think the banks are done now. Silver is up 13% just today. And there's no more shorting going on. These banks, or we're all short silver, are done. So I wouldn't be surprised pretty shortly here if we have a changeover of our system. I also wanted a observation. If you're a football fan and you're not convinced the satanic, woke, rigged NFL and all their crap, the four teams that were left in the playoffs yesterday, nobody noticed this. I did. Are all sanctuary cities. What a coincidence. So I thought that was interesting. And now we're down to two sanctuary cities in the Super Bowl, which would be New England and, well, I can't even think of the other team, Seattle. So those are the two sanctuary cities. One more thing before I ask my question. Jenny, if you wouldn't mind, I don't know if you have a computer in front of you, whatever, if you wouldn't mind Googling, or people out there, HR 792. You're not going to believe what it says.
All right, hang on just a second. Well, why don't you share with us?
Well, to spoil the surprise, if you've got it right in front of you. I was
No, I don't have it in front of me. I'm searching.
I've been on Facebook. I got off in 2020, but I must have said this 20 times and lost a lot of friends over it. But HR 792, since you don't have it in front of you, and other people are probably Googling it now.
Well, it's right here, but go ahead.
You got it?
If it's
You
the
go ahead.
right one, HR
You go ahead and tell us.
792, to direct the Secretary of the Interior to arrange for the carving of the figure of President Donald J. Trump on Mount Rushmore. Is that it?
Yep.
Wow.
Anna Luna Paulina Luna, I think, is the one that got it done. And so, yeah, he's going to be on Mount Rushmore. And if he's going to be on Mount Rushmore and this is all he ever did, well, we know he's going to do a whole lot more. There's going to be a reason that we all know about, the things to come. So, yeah, there you go. It's actually in Google.
Wow. That's awesome. I'm gonna put it on the wall for you, everybody. So hang on a second. Wow, thank you for sharing that, Mark. And also, real
Yeah, I couldn't
quickly,
not share it. And I always
no,
like
I
to do it on
appreciate it.
Field Show.
I appreciate it. And then, real quickly, before you ask Field your question, I'm going back to the football. What did you say about the 14 teams? Can you repeat that again? About
Well,
sanctuary cities?
yeah, last week there was 6 teams left, and the 2 teams that got taken out of the sanctuary, Houston was one, and it looked like it was completely rigged because the quarterback threw like 5 interceptions just in the first half. And the other team was Buffalo, that's not a sanctuary city. And there was a call at the end of the game that everybody's still talking about that would have won the game for Buffalo. So it actually cheated in 4 sanctuary cities left, which were Denver, New England, Seattle, and LA. Well, those are the 4 teams that were left in the playoffs yesterday. They're all sanctuary cities. Now only 2 are left, and of course they're sanctuary. So if you're not convinced that the NFL is rigging stuff, yeah, they are. So that's
Wow, thank you for sharing that. And very, very interesting. Thank you.
yeah. I
Okay.
was surprised because usually people catch this stuff online, people post stuff, but nobody caught that one. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. Well, I mean, I again, it just goes to show you, everybody in our faces, kind of like what Mark's saying. If you don't believe it's rigged and all this stuff, then there you go. Should be interesting. The Super Bowl, the halftime show with Knucklehead, Goofball, Bad Bunny. Oh my goodness, he's a waste of breath. But anyway, yeah, interesting. Go ahead. You can ask Field your question.
So we're having a tremendous winter storm. And I'm wondering, Field, if you think that this storm might be manufactured to drive everybody inside for mass arrests.
Oh, that's a novel idea. I just gave a hand signal to my caregiver that this was sort of iffy, but I think another thing is I know that weather can be controlled. I absolutely know that 100% because of my flying background. And I can, I mean, I don't want to waste your time, Mark. You already know this, but I could tell you some of the locations from where the weather is manipulated, starting in Alaska and then coming down the Pacific side of North America. But the manipulation of weather has been going on since the mid-60s. And this will blow your mind, Mark. But in 1965, I was living in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico at Ramey Air Force Base. And the guy who created the Aguadilla, excuse me, the Arecibo telescope, his name was Dr. William Gordon. And here's something that nobody else in the world could say. Dr. William Gordon's daughter, whose name I will not mention, stayed at my house because she was an American that didn't speak Spanish living in Puerto Rico. And her mother and her father had to stay by the Arecibo telescope. And yet she needed to be in an American school. So her name, obviously, her last name is Gordon. I'm not going to mention her first name as a courtesy to her. just like I'm not mentioning the name of my caregiver who's sitting in my office right now until such time as she gives me permission. But you know, I'm connected to a lot of things, not through my doing, but through God's doing, because God has provided for me in so many ways for the last 25 or more years. And if somebody would say, "Oh, Field, you have a vivid imagination, you're full of shit," I'd say, "Well, okay, I do have a pretty good imagination, but I'm not full of shit." Uh, you know, for whatever reason, God has asked me to expose evil, and He's done it twice: Ephesians 5:11 and Psalm 94:16. And I can quote 5:11. It's real easy. Have nothing to do with the evil deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. But as far as Psalm 94:16, that's a little bit more voluminous, and I can't do it off the top of my head, and I don't want to get it wrong. So go to a Bible, any Bible, doesn't matter, a Bible that you have confidence in, and just take a look at Psalm 94:16 and ask yourself, if you thought God was asking you to take on evil, would you do it? And in my case, the answer is yes, and I have done it. Over to you, Mark.
Oh, okay. You know, what made me think about mass arrests and the weather manipulation, everything, you know, I follow Q posts, and there's a Q post 582 that was written on January 22nd of 2018. And it says, stay at home, -7 in kill brackets, which tells me it's strong com for stay at home for 7 days.
Wow.
And
Well, you know, we're seeing all this stuff going on in Minnesota, and I'll get to the hands here, guys. Your questions real quickly. Um, and Tim Walz has reached out to, go figure, Trump, to ask for cooperation. He wants Field. He wants Trump to come in there and start working with Tim Walz and what's going on in Minnesota. We know Tom Homan is back. He's going to go. I think he's going to go and be the head right now of what's going on in Minnesota. He's going to be involved. So I think we're gonna. I don't know. It's getting wild up there, but you know, Tim Walz, he's a piece of shit. Anyway, sorry guys, but yeah, he's called the president requesting that they work together to try to get the situation under control over there. And then there's a bunch of a bunch of companies that are coming together and asking for them to I think it's some of the top businesses within Minnesota to find some kind of piece to what's going on over there. So the funny thing is though is they're uncovering with this Signal thing that's going on. I think it's the Signal app over there on X, Cam Higby or something like that. He just uncovered a lot of these places within Minnesota are working together. This is how coordinated it is, everybody, with these people, these protesters or riots, whatever you want to call them. How, and it just shows you how coordinated it is. All these businesses are working together with these people to not let ICE in, to deny them, service, whatever it may be, any kind of press. They're going to harm the press. All kinds of crazy stuff is going on, and these businesses are actually a part of it as well. So, I do believe we're going to start seeing a lot of arrests. We are seeing Cash Patel come
Hope
out.
so.
Cash Patel's coming out revealing that an investigation has been launched into that Signal the chat groups that I'm talking about. So pay attention. I mean, these are the kind of things that's really happening, right? That they want to keep our focus off of, right? We've totally forgotten about the fraud in Somalian fraud over there in Minnesota because they're keeping us distracted with all this other stuff. So pay attention to what's really important, everybody, not the noise. And there's a lot of noise out there. So thank you for that, Mark. All right, let's go into some questions. I see Doug, you raised your hand. So go ahead, Doug, Woodstock 69. Your mic is unmuted.
Hello, Jenny, and hello, Field.
Hello.
Hi,
I
Doug.
have I have a real interesting coincidence that I would like to ask Phil about. I've always wanted to ask him, and it's on 107 when I seen his podcasts, and I love Jenny. Jenny, you're number one. But I like to look at 107s, and I see on his right pinky a ruby red ring. And I know for a fact that JFK Jr. had a cat, a black cat named Ruby, who was actually in Hyannisport for the so-called wedding back in 1999 that never took place for JFK Jr., but I have other theories on that. But anyways, the coincidence was the ring, the ruby red ring. I always see it on Juan's hand. You can't see his face. You see his legs. He's got his legs, his knees folded up, and he wears boots. And a right hand always shows once or twice, maybe more than that in the podcast, and it's a ruby red ring on his finger, and JFK's cat was named Ruby. So I just wanted to know your thoughts, Field, on that. And I had a book way back from 2020 called Kid by the Side of the Road with, it's almost like a magazine with unique words in it, how it's described, and talking about JFK and everything else. And so many things to me are coincidental that I think they're more than coincidence, that they're true. And I'm just one of those type of people. I just need to hear from you, Phil, because I watch your and everything you have done over the years. I take close interest. So I just wanted to get your vibes on that.
Okay, well, I'll give you some vibes. Do you have any idea who 107 actually is?
Well, I always thought he was JFK Jr., but I know I'm probably in the minority. But I just felt, that, just never getting to see him on this podcast. I know people must see him somewhere, but I know JFK Jr. was rumored to be a master of disguise. He could put all kinds of masks on, and nobody would even know who he was. If that's how in college he did that. He was actually anonymous in many, many cases. He didn't want to be in the public's eye. I have many books on all that stuff, and I just want to listen to your take.
Well, I think JFK Jr. is alive and well. And so when you say that a wedding had to be postponed for some reason, if you're talking about JFK Jr. and his wife, their wedding did not have to be postponed because their airplane did not crash. And I can tell you who was flying JFK's Jr.'s airplane when it did crash, and the guy that was flying it didn't get hurt.
I believe
Do you
that
want to know?
110%, 110%, I believe that.
Okay. Yeah, it was a Navy SEAL because security cameras at that Eastern New York airport picked up somebody attaching an explosive device to the empennage. First of all, most straight people don't know what an empennage is because it's a French word, but there was a explosive device put on the tail of JFK's airplane so that when he took off, if he went higher than X number of feet, let's say 1,500 feet, that his airplane would be over the water and it would blow up. And then everybody, well, there'd only be three people on board and they'd all be dead. But see, America is not asleep. Some people in America are asleep, but at the highest levels of our government, the government knows what's going on. And so when somebody wanted JFK Jr. to be dead, America said, bullshit, we're going to protect him. And so they did. And when his airplane went down on its way to wherever, Martha's Vineyard, I think it was, the Navy SEAL had already jumped out of the airplane and then it blew up. And so JFK Jr. is alive and well, as is his wife, and as is his sister-in-law, and they're going to remain alive and well because going back to 1963, young Kennedys have been imperiled, and a good example of that is 107. 107 is a young Kennedy, and when he was born in Massachusetts, and I think he was born at a hospital at Otis Air Force Base. You can check that out. It's a matter of public record. But when he was born, within 3 days, he had to be evacuated. And of all places in the world to evacuate, John F. Kennedy's second child that was a male, he had a daughter and he also had two males. But 107 is JFK, his second son, and they knew that his life would be in jeopardy, so they sent him, and sit down before you spill your coffee, because they sent their son Patrick Bouvier Kennedy to Benghazi, Libya, for safekeeping. And that doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of Americans, because you know that Benghazi is where Hillary organized an attack against the United States of America. And I would like to invite Hillary right now, if you're alive, which you are not. But if you were alive by some weird deal, Hillary, I'm inviting you to come to Plum City, Wisconsin on any day of your selection at high noon and kiss my ass, because you're nothing but a dipshit. No, she's a loser, and she's not fooling anybody. I mean, sometimes the deepest intelligence we have are people that don't look like they're intelligent. Maybe you're talking to one right now, but I know what's going on. I know what's gone on, and here's the punchline. 107 has been in my house, in the office I'm sitting in right now with my caregiver, and he's been in this house, in this room, 3 times. And if Mark Levy is still listening, and I hope he is, he gave me the original copy of The Kid by the Side of the Road, the editor's proof, and it's up in my master bedroom, which I'm not allowed to go up to anymore because my caregiver is sitting right here keeping her eye on me, and she doesn't want me on a stairway. And she's right, because I'm not my balance is off. Not my mental balance, my physical balance. But I'm going to ask my caregiver to allow me to go downstairs with her if she supervises me, and check to see if my water heater's working, which I don't think it probably is, but I've got maintenance scheduled. And so life goes on. And let me just give everybody in Jenny's chat room a bit of information you're not going to get on the mainstream media. Do you have any idea where the name 107 comes from? Anybody want to volunteer a guess?
Is it 107?
Yeah, it's 107 days from the day Patrick Bouvier Kennedy was born until his father, John F. Kennedy, was allegedly assassinated. And how come people don't know this? Because history lessons in America suck. Pardon my French there, Jenny. Over to you, Jenny.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, let her rip, Tater Chip. Thank you, Doug. Did
Okay.
that answer all your
Field,
questions?
Field, I just had one more thing. That was August 11th, 1963, and that's 107 days to November 22nd. You're absolutely right. And I think you answered my question on who 107 was. I always thought it was Patrick Kennedy. And I think that the clue that I told you about the ring on his right pinky, the ruby red ring named after JFK Jr.'s black cat, that he had when the night of the thing that crashed had never happened for JFK Jr. That's like a clue that he is alive. I know he is. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've got my answer. Thank you again. You're absolutely awesome.
Well,
Thank you,
I don't
Doug.
think I'm awesome. Thank you very much, Doug, but I'm just doing what God asked me to do, and it's real fucking simple. Pardon the slip there, Jenny. It's real simple. I deleted the fuck. Uh, I expose evil, and I expose evil because God asked me to, and God asked me to expose evil because He knew I could determine what's evil because of the tools that God gave me, not that I developed, not that my family instilled, but God Himself. When He created me, we humans are like Buicks coming down a production line in Michigan. And some Buicks are white, some are red, some are blue, some are black, some have air conditioning, some have electric windows. And all of us humans are customized by God. And God gave me a couple of things. He gave me discernment, and He gave me a really powerful memory. And I take that so seriously, I can't express myself without crying. But why God should build me to do this, I don't know. But He did build me to do this, and I'm doing it. And I think Jenny's my witness. Jenny, can you sign up for that?
I absolutely can, 100%.
Thank you, Jenny. Okay. Did I answer that fellow's questions? I hope.
Yes, you did. Thank you, Fields. Great information. Thank you, Doug, for your question.
You're
All
welcome.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Cal, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead, Cal. Your mic is unmuted. Okay, Mobilizer, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Can you guys hear me? Hello. Mobilizer, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Field, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. You want to have a personal conversation about what we did 3 nights ago?
Oh my goodness, nobody's answering here, so I'm trying to figure out hello. Yeah, I mean if nobody has any questions, Cal, I know she has always something for you, but
Yeah, I'm here, Jenny. I don't know why my phone is not working right since they put a new update on it, so I'm having trouble getting on the app. Can you hear me?
yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Oh my gosh, I have so many things I want to say to Field right now after the Mark Levy called and the things he said about 107. But the first thing I want to say is, the score of the Patriot game was 10 to 7, I think, the other night. So that was kind of interesting at 17 or 17 to 10. I don't remember exactly what the score was. But
No, it was 10 to 7, which could also be interpreted as 107.
107. Yep.
right. You are a national treasure. It is my joy every week to hear you. You sound wonderful, strong today. But another thing I wanted to ask you when you were talking about, do you think this year we'll see maybe them come out? Where are we ever going to see the truth of this? And will it be this year?
Okay, what are you looking for this year? And
To
then I
see if
can answer your question.
I'm
Go ahead.
sorry. Will we know the truth about John Kennedy Jr. And his brother Patrick this year?
Yes, we will, even if I have to do it. How's that for an answer?
Oh, but you just tickle my heart. And one other thing I wanted to ask you, when you were talking about the weather harping or what they can do with the weather. I live here in California. I live close to El Toro Marine Base. I live out here in the canyon. And about
Mm.
17 years ago, they set this place on fire. Like, I mean, I've never seen anything other than the fires we just saw recently in LA and Altadena and Palisades. But I've always believed that the fire that they set out here about 17 years ago was done on purpose. And do you happen to know if that could be possible?
Yes, it could be possible. And can you keep a secret, Cal?
Yes.
Do you know that I was stationed at Marine Corps El Toro back in the 70s?
Yes, I do, because I bought your books and I read the whole story. And it's just amazing to me everything I've learned from you and following you. And I will say that God did choose you at this time in history for what you've done. And I say it every time I speak every week. The world needs to know you and see your what you've done for humanity. It needs to come out.
It will come out, and I think it'll start coming out between February 1st and February 11th. And so, Cal, write those two dates down, February 1st and February 11th. And after the 11th, when we have a Jenny show, I will tell you why I picked those two dates.
Okay.
By the way, Cal, you're one of my favorite people to ask questions because your questions are so well thought out.
Field, you're one of my favorite people too. And on this journey, like you, in this time frame, I lost my husband. And listening to Jenny's show and learning from you helped me get through the loss of him. And I can't thank you for that, because it helped me search and grow and not suffer the loss of him. I've grown from it. God bless you.
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Cal, God has blessed me, and you're one of the blessings that God sent me. But how old was your husband when he passed away? And before you answer that, let me tell you, my wife was 55 when she passed away.
My husband was 67.
Okay, well, I'm 76, so I'm like your husband in reverse.
Yes. And I understand, I do feel your pain about being alone. I do understand that. But God's got you here right now, and He does me too, because I have a lot of people in my own life that don't believe what's going on. And it's been hard. It's separated my family. And I ask God every day if He lets me live long enough to see this all come out.
Oh, it'll come out. Um, Remember, February 1st and February 11th are key dates. And if Jenny would give me permission, I would let her rip potato chip.
Go for it, Field.
Yeah, listen, these motherfuckers trying to fuck with America don't know what the fuck they're doing. And if they want to find out, they can fuck around and find out, and I'll deliver the message. Over to you, Jenny.
Amen.
I
Amen.
I love it, Field. Thank you, Cal, for always coming up and sharing your insights, your questions. whatever it may be. So I appreciate that. Also, too, for those of you that have reached out to me regarding Fields books, they are a national treasure, everybody. For those of you that have purchased them, absolutely, the testimonials are great. I'm glad you are enjoying them. And if you are one that has been wanting to get one or the set, reach out to me at therevivalofamerica@yahoo.com, and I can let you know how that is possible. The information is on the wall. It is above the trailer for Melania's movie coming out January 30th. So with that, Miss Best Press, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, Jenny, and hi, Field. I was going to help my mom because Cal is my mom. And I knew that she was, well, she's always having problems lately with this phone. I don't know what the problem is. But in regards to what she was saying in regards to the football game, I told my mom, and I'm not saying I'm a hero by any means, but I just look ahead. And so I told my mom probably 2 months ago that the Patriots were going to win the Super Bowl. And I truly believe they are. Am I wrong? I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I can handle that. But because I do believe that the white hats and the military and Trump is controlling all this, and there was so much evil in the NFL with the child trafficking and everything, I believe, when I saw that game end 10-7 yesterday, I called my mom as quick as I could. I've watched football my whole life. If anybody knows anything about football and you watched that game yesterday, so many things in that game were like, no, you don't go for it on 4th down in this big of a game inside the 10-yard line. So many turnovers. It was just like, oh my God, as clear as the nose on your face that if you believe that this is real, some people really, I mean, we do know that we have to wake up because my mom has lost many of our family members because we've tried to tell them and they think we're nuts. That's okay. I can handle that. But in the end, I can't wait to stand proud because of you, Jenny and Field. We've learned so much from you, and I thank you so much.
Aw, big hugs to you, Best Press. Well, listen, we appreciate you being here every week. It's because of you guys, the audience, that this can happen, right? So, and that's why I do it. I come home from my day gig and I'll do research and put stuff together, and I do it for you guys, everybody. Because like I said, this is in my free time. I appreciate you guys coming here, and we're going to continue. We're going to be here even when we get through this mess because we have a lot of cleanup to do. So just know that I appreciate all of you guys as my audience members. I appreciate all of my guests. And I know my guests would say the same thing, that they appreciate you guys, the audience members, because again, without you, they wouldn't be either, whether they have a podcast or if they're just here sharing a journey or a story. So I appreciate you, Best Press, and your mom, Cal. You guys always bring a lot of great questions. All of you guys do. And even if you're just a listener, I appreciate you being here, because even if you just listen and you tell one people or you tell 1,000 people, you are helping in this movement. So God bless you all. And again, I appreciate you all. Thank you, Best Press.
Thank you.
Big hugs too, by the way. All right,
Well,
Miss, go ahead.
Go ahead. Big hugs back to you both, because honestly, Field, I'm glad that you have somebody there taking care of you. Last week, my mom and I were like, oh no. So that's wonderful news to us. Wonderful news. But big hugs back to you both, because you guys are both heroes in our eyes. Definitely.
Okay, hang on, Best Press, because I'm going to hand the phone to the lady that's my caregiver, and she's not going to tell you her name, but that way you'll know that I have a human here with me right now, and you can ask her any question about my health. Go ahead.
Hi, Best Press. You made me cry.
Well, I'm just happy that you're there to help him. If he's moving forward, I've had medical challenges my whole life. I've had seizures for 30 something years. So I understand. So it's wonderful. I hope Field's doing well. Do you believe he's doing better than he was last week?
Oh yes. Oh yes. He's we go up and down. Not in a fun way. He is healthy. He is happy. We're working we're gonna work on physical therapy. We're gonna start dancing more.
Definitely. And when these med beds come, Field will be better, and so will I, and everybody else who has a medical illness in the world. So we are blessed for all these things. And thank you. You're an angel to go help Field, because honestly, if I could get there, I would have done that too. Wonderful people in the world like you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And I'm not going to say your name, but I know who's with Fields, and I want to say thank you too. We love and appreciate you. So you're a blessing. I'm not gonna say anything more because I'm probably gonna. I don't want to say her name, but you know who I'm talking to, Field. Your caregiver over there. I'm trying to be discreet.
Oh, you are. You're being very discreet. And, she appreciates that because I'm used to having my name out there, but most Americans aren't used to having their name out there, and it intimidates them. Uh, at some point, she'll get over that. But, that some point might be when some people come to Plum City to visit me and stay in my house. Because if I have a gathering, say in April, with Shauna and her husband Tim and Hermano and some other people, I've got a 5-bedroom house, and so I have room to accommodate a number of people. And Jenny, I don't think you can accept this invitation, but anytime you want to come to Plum City to experience the Plum City Peace, PEACE, not PIECE. Plum City is a lovely place to be, and you're welcome to come anytime with no notice. You can call me and say, "Hey, I just arrived at the airport in Minneapolis, and I've decided to stay with you for 3 days." And I say, "Oh, okay, well, that's little notice. How are you going to get to my house?" And she said, "That's your problem." Yeah. In which case, I would go outside and find out which one of my numerous cars would start, and I'd drive to the Minneapolis airport and pick you up. And if that were to happen during the business hours of the day, then maybe my caregiver would be here and she could come along, and then we could have a joyous ride back. And she could then go home to her kids, and we could get the party started at my house. I'm not much of a partier. Oh, wait a minute, wrong script. No, I think life is to be enjoyed, and it's not something we need to be intimidated by, uh, because life is going to happen, and God's in control. And as far as God's control of my life, He's been very steadfast in keeping me safe, even though I'm prone to saying things which would sound rather strong. For instance, no balls, walls. Uh, how do you expect somebody with no balls to run the state of Minnesota?
He's not.
Yeah,
He's not.
no, he's lacking nuts. That's what he's lacking. He doesn't have any nuts. In the Marine Corps, they teach you to dominate or die, and they don't publish that, but that's what they do, and that's what I did. And that's what I'm still doing. And if people don't like it, I'll apologize to them one by one, but I'm not going to apologize to all of America because I'm trying to keep America safe and keep Minnesota safe. And Minnesota is at risk right now. And I'm sitting right here across the border. I'm 60 miles from Minnesota, and I'm safe. I got to look under my blanket and see. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm wearing a blanket over my legs to stay warm, and it's keeping some other parts of my body warm too. But we in America are safe, and we are guided not only by God, first and foremost by God, but secondly by Trump. And if people don't like Trump, well, they can come to Plum City at 5 o'clock or noon. We'll have 2 showings, and people can line up and kiss my ass in front of Molly's restaurant.
Thank you, Field. All right, Mobilizer, I
Yeah,
see
you're
you're
welcome.
back. Go ahead, Mobilizer. Your mic is unmuted. All right, Mobilizer, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted. Otherwise, I have to move on. Push the blue button in the middle of your screen. All right, Patty M, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, hi there. Hi, Phil. I live only about 600 miles away from you in Wisconsin. I wanted to ask you about negative 48. I've heard rumors that he is also either RFK or his brother. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I don't. But hasn't negative 48 passed away?
Well, that's what rumor has it, just like RFK. So there's just lots of stuff floating around and putting pieces together, listening to different people. You know, when I hear him on different videos from the past, his voice sounds so much like RFK.
No,
Okay.
JFK.
Well,
I'm sorry, JFK.
JFK Jr. He sounds a lot like JFK Jr. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Jenny.
well,
So,
speaking of things floating around, next time you're in your bathroom, take a look at the toilet when you get off it and see if you see anything floating around.
Field.
you are
Oh, it's
so humorous. Your caretaker must just laugh all day long.
well, here, let me put her on and she'll tell you. Here she comes. Yeah, here you go. Here's my caretaker.
He keeps me laughing, that's for sure.
I'm sure he does. Well, thank you for helping him out. I devoted 5 years of my life to helping my dad, and it's a big blessing. So thank you. Thank you, Jenny, for your
Well,
show.
Of course, Patty.
and
Thank you for
Jenny,
being here. Go ahead, Field.
well, Patty and Jenny, thank you both because my caregiver is a blessing to me. And even though I haven't told her face to face before, I'm telling her right now, I feel much healthier just to know she's in my life pretty much full
Yes.
time.
Yep, I can understand that for sure. Everyone is needed, and there's always another person for another person. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Patty.
thank you, Jenny.
Well, thank you, Field. And for your question in regards to, if people are still alive or not, I always say to the audience, we'll soon find out, right? I try not to get too caught up in that stuff because we just don't know, right? But
Yep.
I understand when I first heard him speak negative 48, I was like, holy cow. I was going back to John F. Kennedy Jr.'s, some of his speaking engagements that he would do, because negative 48 had a little bit of that list, but that John Jr. did, and I was like, okay, this is a trip. So yeah, I was tripping out a little bit, but yeah, I guess we'll see
That's
soon,
exactly
right?
that's exactly what I did. But I'm definitely keeping it at a distance. It's just exciting, something to hope for, I guess.
Right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right,
Thank
Field.
you.
You're welcome. Here's a question for you, Field, from Ski Patrol. Question for Field. Thank you for everything you have shared over the years. Your exposure of the BUAP and its ties to rogue elements was frightening. Boeing only acknowledged the BUAP technology after you filed a lawsuit. With all the changes in aviation security and FAA oversight, do you believe rogue actors still have access or control over the BUAP equipped aircraft today in 2026? Thank you.
Yes, but I'm going to be much more specific. Are you guys ready for this? Can you handle the truth?
Yeah, you can't handle the truth. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah, that was A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is a wimp. Jack Nicholson's the real deal. And so if you're going to consider me one or the other, consider me Jack Jr. Um, the the truth about the Boeing uninterruptible autopilot was brought out by me on the morning of 9/11. And yes, they're still out there. And yes, they're still a threat to aviation safety because the airlines collectively, all of them, have not allowed their pilots to be educated on the Boeing uninterruptible autopilot. And because of my activism, I'm going to force that to be changed. And I think I can do it. And if I can't do it, then I can die trying. How's that for a guarantee, Jenny?
I love it. Thank you, Fields. All right. Anybody else have any questions for Field? Feel free to raise your hand and I will unmute your mic. I don't see any more questions here on the wall, Field. I'm looking. But yeah, feel free, anybody, to raise your hand. Do you want to share anything, Fields, while we're maybe waiting?
Yes, I do. I'm planning to have a gathering at my house here in Plum City in April, and it's contingent upon the preferences given to me by a woman named Shauna in Missouri and her husband, whose name is Tim, but he goes by Papa. And I'd like to invite them publicly up to my house. And then if other people would like to come, like Hermano from Canada, he's already coming. And, we have room for several more. Um, and, Jenny, we always have room for you. And I don't think you can ever come on short notice. I don't even know if you can come on long notice. But you would always be welcome here, just like 107 and his wife Jenny Mack are welcome here. How does that sound to you, Jenny?
I think that is awesome. And I know Juan, you said how many times Juan has been there? 3 times, you said?
3. Yeah, and I'm sitting in my home office right now, and my caregiver's yawning. So I think she's yeah. But she and I are both in the chairs that I was in and 107 was in on his 3 visits to my house. And I take it as a great compliment from 107 that he would visit me because I'm just a complete nobody. But he apparently sees it differently. And so he wants to come help me be a somebody. And maybe someday when I grow up, I'll be a somebody. Over to you, Jenny.
Well, I'm trying to, with some new things that we're going to be doing on the podcast, and how Juan, he's always on camera. Well, his boots are always on camera. I'm trying to get him back on the show. Everybody, as you guys know, he's a traveling Wilbury, and he's a busy guy, very busy guy. So he is definitely another one, you guys, uh, that you should follow because he has been telling us all of this stuff that is transpiring, everybody, for so long, and he gives us the journey of how this started in the middle to the end and how we got here, right? So I know people say he's long-winded or whatever, but I'm telling you, everybody, he is somebody very special in this movement, and he is definitely somebody you need to watch and listen to because he has been telling us everything that we are seeing transpire. He has been telling us we're going to see a Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0, and I believe we're starting to see that come to fruition. He's been telling us so much, everybody, that things have come to fruition. So that's another one for sure to watch if you're questioning who to listen to and who to follow. So definitely a 107. So with that, everybody, we don't have any more questions, and Field is with us typically every Monday, and since his caregiver is yawning, she must be bored.
You know what? Wait a minute. She was yawning at the very moment you said that.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Then,
Oh,
and then here comes a hand being raised. So here's another question for you, Fields.
good.
Michelle, go ahead, Michelle. Your mic is unmuted. Go ahead, Michelle. You guys request mic and then you don't say anything. Hello, push the blue button in the middle of your screen. There you go.
I'm sorry. Thank you very much, Jenny.
Of
My
course.
question to Field is, does he know how long it's going to take us to start seeing what we've been told in the Q drops about arrests, when that's going to happen, that the public will know or see? Does he have an opinion about that?
So, real quickly before he gives his opinion, we have seen a lot of arrests. Two of the main ones have already happened: Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. And then, I mean, we're seeing a lot of people, little minions like judges and people like that in the background. And I think you're probably talking more like the Hillarys of the world, the Obamas of the world. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Field. I'll let you answer that. And I know Field has mentioned it here in today's show, and as in other shows he's mentioned it. But Donald Trump has also too let us know that Hillary is no longer with us, and then he always says Biden has been shot, and he even put something out on his Truth saying that I think it was back in 2019 or something like that. So again, like I said, Trump tells us without like coming out directly saying it, but yeah. He has said that, but go ahead and give us your thoughts, Fields.
Well, I think Hillary is deader than a mackerel on a fishmonger's market, and rightfully so. She has no contribution to humanity. She's a complete dipshit. She was a traitor to America, and she was naive enough to think that she could get to be president. How's that for opening comments?
I like
I'm
it.
all- Me too. I'm over here dying laughing. Okay, so what are your thoughts about Obama and then obviously Joe Biden? Just yeah.
Oh, Joe Biden is long since dead. LSD. And back in the 60s with Timothy O'Leary, LSD was a big deal. But nowadays, LSD means long since dead. And Joe Biden is long since dead. And, there's a fresh slate of people that we need to process. And I, for one, am in favor of exposing all the evildoers and protecting America, and more than protecting America, protecting the children. And I don't want to release any information that I don't have permission to release. But there's some people that are coming up alongside of me to help me in this battle. And one of them is a lady in Mount Prospect, Illinois. And, she's going to help me take on or take over the Children's Crusade, because I'm getting too old to be doing this. Maybe I don't think so, but maybe you do think so. But this lady's name shall not be published, but there's a lady in Mount Prospect, Illinois, that is going to help me protect children, because we're going to reestablish the Children's Crusade. And I've got two, they're gigantic mouse pads that have the Children's Crusade logo on them. And one of them is going to be going to the lady in Mount Prospect, and the other one's going to be staying in my hearse to Obama, because Obama is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen in America. And I say that based on the fact that I went to the same high school as him, and he was a male prostitute at Punahou School in Hawaii. And how they continue to say he's a good guy is beyond me, because he's not. He's a bad guy, and his husband's a bad guy too. And Obama's husband is Big Mike, who goes by the name Michelle Obama, but most Michelles don't have a dick, and she does. So is that too much for your show, Jenny, or am I okay?
You're good. I'm just laughing. Love
Oh, yeah.
love your
Well,
sense of humor, Field.
I thank you very much. And I love your sense of justice, because without an outlet like yours, we're going to 100 countries right now. And see, I'm not a proud American. Am I happy to be an American? Yes. Am I proud of it? No. I had nothing to do with it. I came down my mother's birth canal on the 2nd of October of 1949, and I didn't know if I was a boy or a girl. I didn't know if I was in America or in the Ukraine. Uh, but over the course of the last 76 years, I found out I'm a boy, and I'm expected to be a boy, and I'm expected not to put up with a bunch of sissies. And so I don't, you know. Uh, I make them toe the line, pay the price, and do what's right for America, because this is my country and I love it. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Field. I appreciate that. And everybody, Field is here, like I said, every Monday. So come back next Monday for more Field McConnell. And then later today, we'll have John Baxter at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, well, we're going to have Dallas on Friday, or not Friday, guys, Wednesday. Captain Kyle, many of you know, we had to reschedule his show from last Wednesday. I'm not sure when that's going to be. But continue to keep his wife in your prayers. They had to take her, I think she was in the emergency room, but please keep her in your prayers. Her name is Renee, and hopefully Captain will give us an update on how she is doing. So with that, everybody, again, like I said, come back for John Baxter later today at 4 p.m. Eastern. Hang on real quickly. Field, don't go anywhere. I got Mark. He's got his hand up again. Hang on a second. All right, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, I just wanted to add one thing. You were talking about Obama and Michelle. According to Real Raw News, Michelle Obama, Big Mike, was hung on December 16th at 11 a.m., according to Real Raw News. And her last request, she wanted to call Obama, and they refused. So you might want to read that story on Real Raw News.
Was that this year?
December, yeah, just this past December 16th. According to Real Raw News, 11 a.m. Blah blah blah. She was sobbing and told the guards he felt aggrieved because he hadn't been offered a final request. His final request was to call his husband, and they denied it.
As they should.
Good for them.
I'm
for
just
them.
reporting the news. You know, that's Real Raw News, who does have a seat in the press room. So if people don't think that Real Raw News is more than satire, why would they have a seat in the press room?
Exactly. And another one is Catherine what is it? Herridge, I think. She's another one that is sitting down at the Gitmo newsroom. They have a whole room for the media out there, and only certain people are down there. And she's down, I think she's down there right now permanently. But if people think for a hot second, those indictments, those many, many indictments that they have, and each one of them can contain up to 99 people. If people think those were open just 20 minutes ago, they got another thing coming. Those things, and I tell my audience this, and a lot of people over there on X, because X is far behind if you haven't figured it out. It's like they report something today like it's new news. We've already debunked that or researched it 5-6 years ago, guys. So they're quite a bit behind, but they're coming around. But I do believe a lot of these people have been apprehended, and like Field always says, many people say this is already done. Rubber Duck says it all the time. We are just, it's when we say we're watching a movie, it's wag the dog, literally. They're rolling it out scene by scene by scene. So yeah, I do believe a lot of these people have been apprehended, whether they've seen their fate or not. And if they haven't, they're probably sitting there waiting to see their fate. I do believe there are a lot of useful idiots out there playing their part, as we've said many, many times, to help Donald Trump take this infested swamp down, because we all know that this deep state is so deep and entangled. I mean, we're witnessing it all being unraveled. I mean, from the lowest of the low to the highest of the high. I mean, look at all these companies that are infiltrated in with these coordinated protests that they're doing, right, with the Soros Group and all these NGOs. So have some solace in that, guys. I do believe that a lot of them have been apprehended.
And Jenny, I'm just guessing that all these tribunals will be taped and they will be shown as if they're in real time, but they are not. They've already been done. Now, I don't think they'll be showing any hangings, but they probably will show you the tribunals.
Exactly. And it's been said that we would. So I appreciate that, Mark. Thank you for bringing that up and always being here, a part of the show. Field, thank you for being here once again. And I also, too, want to let everybody, for those that have reached out to Field and chatted with him and offered him a place to go, or just, talking to him, thank you guys for doing that. I know he appreciates it. I appreciate it. And we're super, super glad that we've got your nursing assistant or your caregiver, and I know her name, but I'm not going to say it, with you, and that she has decided to take you on full time. I'm very grateful for that. You sound great, Field. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Yes, and she's a certified nursing assistant. That's her title. And she gave up her career to come help me. And I couldn't be more blessed. And so thank you very much, Jenny. And I'll see you next week at the same time.
Thank you. And thank you for always bringing us a little good news. God bless you guys. I love you all. Thank you for being a part of the Revival of America, because without you, it wouldn't be. We'll talk to you guys here in a little bit for some John Baxter with Anti-Aging MedBed. Thanks, everybody. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. God bless. Thanks, Field. Love you.
Bye-bye, Jenny.
Bye, Jenny.
Bye.